They say monsters hide under beds, but one lived next door. He smiled, he waved, he offered sandwiches, and for a decade nobody knew that inside apartment 213 there were human bones in fridge, nightmares in walls. This is the story of Jeffrey Dahmer, a man who looked ordinary and became one of the most chilling killers in American history. Jeffrey Lionel Dahmer was born on May 21st, 1960, a quiet blonde haired boy with empty eyes and a strange stillness. His parents fought often, shouting echoing through the house, and even a child, Jeffrey seemed to disappear into the noise. He wasn't like other kids when they played with ball or rode bikes. Jeffrey collected bones, road killed dead animals. He would keep them behind the house, telling himself it was curiosity, but even curiosity can rot into something darker. When his parents divorced in 1987, Jeffrey was 18, alone, drunk, and spiraling. That same year, he picked up a hitchhiker. His name was Stephen Hicks. They drank beer, laughed, talked, and when Stephen tried to leave, Jeffrey hit him with a dumbbell. His first kill. He crushed the skull and dissolved the remains with acid. It was start of something that would never stop. For nearly a decade, Dahmer vanished from headlines, working small jobs, drinking heavily, and getting arrested for indecent exposure. To anyone else, he was just awkward Jeff, quite polite, but behind his smile was obsession with control, with loneliness, with fear of being abandoned. He didn't want his victims to leave, so he began to make sure they could never. In 1990, Jeffrey moved into apartment 213 at Oxford Apartments. It looked normal, a fade beige building in a quiet neighborhood, but inside it was a tomb. Neighbors complained of foul smell. Jeff said it was spoiled meat. Sometimes they heard a drill at night. He said he was fixing furniture. Between 1990 and 1991, he brought 17 young men to the apartment. He drugged them, strangled them, photographed them, and killed them with surgical preciseness. He kept their skulls as trophies. He stored heart in freezer. He even tried to make them stay by drilling hole into their heads and pouring acid inside, hoping to create living zombies who would never leave him. It's not about horror, it's just a desperation twisted into something unspeakable. On January 22, 1991, a man named Tracy Edwards ran down the street, handcuffed, terrified, screaming for help. Police followed him back to Dahmer's apartment. Inside, they found photographs of bodies and a blue barrel filled with acid and dissolving flesh. The smell was unforgettable. The quiet man next door, the one who shared beers and smiled politely, was one of the next most prolific serial killers in US history. When he was caught, Dahmer didn't run, he didn't beg, he just said, "For what I did, I should be dead." In his calm voice, he described everything, every detail, every horror. He said he didn't kill for pleasure, but because he feared loneliness. He wanted to keep a part of his victims with him. Psychologists called him a mix of control, compassion, and emptiness. He wasn't insane. He knew it was wrong. He just didn't care enough to stop. And maybe that's what made him so terrifying, that he didn't even care. And he looked so normal behind normal, ordinary eyes. He looked very normal. In 1992, Jeffrey Dahmer was sentenced to 15 consecutive life terms, 957 years in prison. He asked for Bible. He said he would found God. In 1994, another inmate, Christopher, beat him to death with a metal bar. Some called it justice, but for families of 17 victims, it was only a sliver of peace in lifetime of pain. Jeffrey Dahmer's story isn't just about murder, it's about how evil can hide behind ordinary faces. A man who looked like everyone else, smiled like everyone's, but carried a darkness that devoured everything around him. But behind headlines, there were 17 lives, sons, brothers, and friends, each one of them with dreams that never got to breathe. And maybe the scariest part is that no one noticed for 13 long years. No one saw the monster next door. Evil doesn't always scream, sometimes it whispers.